Hello, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. My name is Duncan Alderdice, and the reason I'm making these videos is to document myself. Wait up. The reason I'm making this series is me documenting. No, it's not documenting. This point of the series, what I'm doing with this series is making short videos in the morning, afternoon, or evening as I put my life together life back together again. We're gonna work on that one. This is one of those things that you're going to witness it creating itself as you displays itself. That's an interesting way of putting it. It's like a painting that you watch to get painted as well as display. There's a path there that I've never seen before. We shall explore next time. If you notice, because you're very perceptive, you'll see that I'm in a slightly different location. And by slightly, I mean it's still the same location, technically, but it's a different spot in it. And that's because I did the entire road walk all the way here without failing to have a car being passing me at that time, which is very frustrating because I tried starting this a couple of times. But anyways, I digress. We're gonna do this. And we're gonna make it part of the ritual because I just slept in 10 minutes later. And that was enough to go from there being no cars on the road and yeah, there's like fucking no cars now. I could have turned around. That's really annoying. Anyways, there's a car right here. I'm gonna be so mad. Here's what's up. Okay, so yesterday, what's the thing I wanted to talk about? My mouth is the driest place in the world. This is so frustrating. I'm unbelievably frustrated. Here's the thing. So, what are we gonna do? Yesterday we were talking about how starting a business is a necessary part, likely because of extenuating factors being like making that a real thing. Also have endorsement from parents, so that's cool. They're like, hey, yeah, you should do that. It's like fucking, that's what I think. The other thing is, where do we start? And so that's like kind of going, okay, well, best business to start rather than being a completely new thing is why don't you do something that someone else is already doing in half the time, or easier, or for lower cost, or just do something that's already been established. If that's a car going by, I'll be very happy. So that's a thing that what I'm going to do. And so it's like, okay, well, what can I build with AI? There's a lot of AI automation things for like automatically replying to inbound leads and like having home and service-based businesses not lose business as a consequence of not being able to answer or reply fast enough. And then there's a lot of generalist type companies that do that. So then the strength of those type of companies is to very niche down and focus on one particular demographic, because then you get good at creating their messaging specifically for those problems. And it's like anyone can do it, but really the work is found in the iterations and the modifications you make to the prompts that book the meeting or whatever. And that only comes through doing it. Like anyone can just get a general email to write out, but like that's what everyone's going like, okay, well, if you just get AI to write your essay or email, it's going to sound like AI. So garbage in, garbage out, not garbage in, not garbage out. So there's that, but that one also just, it seems a bit too easy. As well as these things called agents right now that I'm not fully sure how to work, but I want to learn, because it's also like start a business or learn how to do the thing so I acquire the skill. And then that skill set I can carry forward. So I'm thinking, well, what if I build something that does outbound? So rather than inbound, when someone fills out an ad and then you get their information and you reply to that. Rather, you just find them and do some sort of cold approach. Okay. So we can do that. Now, the reason why that works better and is more realistic is because the thing that I'm applying for jobs right now are like BDR and SDR type roles. As well as some account executive with the markets. But anyways, so that is a lot of cold outbound. So worst case Ontario, I build out the system with the agents for the outbound. No one wants to buy the service because it fucking sucks, but it still does something. And because it still does something, I then can use it. Have I walked past the place I needed to walk past? No, I haven't. It's so green and luscious in here. I haven't walked down this in a while. I also don't know what time it is. So many thoughts. What was I talking about? What was the thing I was saying? What's my battery at? 19%. Okay. If I can build that, then I can actually use that as a tool for my own cold outreach, what I would be doing for another company as an employee. And the thing also to remember is if I can do it and get a job and make myself more valuable on the marketplace as an employee, it's a higher leverage play to then pursue that full time as an actual business entity. Because you can get more customers. Okay, so it's like you can get base pay of, I don't know, let's say $3,000 to $4,000 a month plus commissions on top. And then you can be on track to make 100,000. I think those are bikers. There's already too many people. I'm gonna turn around right here. You can do that. Actually, that seems pretty sweet. Right. But then also what you can do is just be the one guy who then offers that service to 3 or 4 different businesses. And then if you charge something like 1,000 or per lead basis, I think that's what it is if it's a per lead or booked meeting basis and they show and they're qualified, you can charge more because that's a difficult skill because it's from cold, so it's more difficult. But more importantly is because if it's done with AI agents or whatever, then it's a scalable thing in the sense of you don't run into the constraint of if you have a team of cold callers, you need another human being to make cold calls in order to make more cold calls, right? But then not only that is you need to train that person into being good. And that's a skill in and of itself and takes a lot longer and is far more cost intensive from a time, money, and energy standpoint. But I don't know if the person's behind me or not, if it's a bike. But what am I saying? Time and monetary and standpoint. But if you do it with an AI agent, not only is it more accessible, especially for someone in my position, which has no team set in place or hasn't raised any capital, you can. It's easier to train, or you just approach the AI agent, I think, in this exact same way, but the AI doesn't forget. And also it's not going to replace the process altogether, but it is going to eliminate a lot of the busy work that makes one process take a lot longer, and therefore you can do more with less. So it's an ideal sort of thing. But then it's like, okay, well, what do I start the business with? Because you need, okay, a system for booking it, but you also need a particular target. Like, what is your ideal client profile? So I'm like, I don't know what that is right now. But if I have that, then I can build the system around that. Then if all it is switching what the ideal client profile is, which is super easy in terms of like a conceptual standpoint, nothing else about the system has to change. So then you just that's what you do. They're getting closer. They are getting closer. Fuck. That's what you do. Okay. I'm feeling the pressure. Come here. But so what should the first ideal client profile be? And I think is if I can build an outbound system to help me target hiring managers and then get a job and a booked meeting with them for interviews outside of directly applying, that's a proof I can do the skill, a more compelling case for the person who's actually hiring, and actually a useful place to start because it's actually personal to me rather than a hypothetical, just theoretical situation in real life. So that's what I'm going to do. Today I'm going to do a lot of brainstorming with Claude or Claude. Depends on how you want to say it. Anyways, I feel them creeping up behind me. So I'm going to say goodbye for now. See ya.